Hello, everybody. This is Tiffany. I don't know why I have an echo right now, but we are here for the fourth annual Spread the Ring Domestic Violence Survivor concert, and we want to start off with some music by TJ.
I know you see it. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Man, God got his hands on me. Many blessings like the sand on the beach. I'm a man that's gon' preach until they got vanished. I'm supposed to be on the Joes, I ain't even playing it. But here I go, I'm feeling like mystical. Even though God invisible, I'ma make him visible. It ain't nothing mystical, just observe my walk, observe my talk. And if you heard, I'm a soul of the earth. Cause he ain't got no flavor to it. The reason it's so chaotic, they won't let the Savior do it. I'ma get out the way, the price of sin I cannot pay. You could be up in the month of April and get shot down by me. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. And you know I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. Man, God got his hands on me. Meaning blessings like the sand on the beach. And that's a lie. I'ma rep the great I am when I speak, and at the same time, watch me go ham on his beat. I done stripped that dope and I took them pill. How many times I should've got killed? On Lil Pimp say I thought I was tree. When I smoked that tree, I thought I was healed. I was so empty, I thought I was filled. A lot that I lived, I thought it was real. Rapping all them demonic verses out of my mouth, I spoke some curse. But now I'm blessed as Christ is worthy.
Wow, nice. Thank you, TJ, for sending in that playlist with us to get us started tonight. We are here for the fourth annual Private Room Domestic Violence Survivor concert, and we have a couple of people with us that are going to be performing live tonight and sharing their stories. We also have a couple more people that are going to be joining us, so we are really, really excited about tonight. We're going to go ahead and do introductions so that you know who is going to be sharing their stories tonight and entertaining us tonight. This should be an uplifting episode. We don't want this to be an episode about domestic violence and surviving domestic violence and it be daunting, okay? We want it to be a celebration of surviving, and that is the reason why we're not just talking, but we're also sharing some of the creative works by some of our guest tonight. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. I see that we have people coming on. So everybody keep coming on, so that you can support those that are going to be sharing tonight. And then also please reshare it on your page because this is for a good cause. And so we want to make sure that we are raising awareness among many platforms, not just our own. So thank you, everybody, tonight for watching and who will be watching. And thank you for those that are on with us right now. We're going to do brief introductions. I'm going to do a little small introduction myself. You all, most of you know me. If you are not following me, I am the Tiffany L. Brown on Instagram and Facebook. I am also have an alter ego, Sunshine Brown, because I do some entertainment things. And so I have Sunshine Brown as my other handle on social media, Facebook and Instagram. And so I am also the director of the Private Room with Tiffany. I'm going to hand it over to Tiffany, and then Tiffany's going to pick somebody to do their introduction after her. So we're just going to keep passing it along. Tiffany K.
Hi, guys. My name is Tiffany. Also, I am the assistant director of the Private Room. I know I've been kind of MIA lately because I am pursuing my degree, so that I can utilize my experiences from my story that you'll hear later into a nonprofit organization. And a bunch of other really cool stuff that I think survivors might really be interested in. I'm a mom of 2 grown children, and I'm more so of an entrepreneur. I have my hands in a bunch of different things. And I am a human trafficking survivor. So again, you'll hear my story in a little while, but I'm gonna give it to, the names aren't up, so I don't know who's who.
Uh-oh. If everybody can, let me see. Let's see why our names are not up. Let's see. Because that will be helpful, right? I think that would
Yeah,
help. I think that would
because I don't
help
think
with it.
anybody knows where they're at on my
Oh,
screen. So if I say the one above me, then
yeah. So the one above you, I'm just gonna go off my screen then, Tiffany. I'm sorry. I don't know why the names are not popping up. So the next person we're gonna tag in here is Miss Akia. Akia, please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. I am comedian Akia J. And on behalf of everyone here, girl, I just want to let you know I'm glad that you said that you know that you was MIA because, bitch, we all knew. Right? We just want to put it out there. We all knew already.
Yeah.
But I'm
did
excited.
y'all miss me though? That's the question.
I mean, you know, I want to put you on. We were talking about you in the break room the other day. We wanted to but stand-up comedian. I am a domestic violence survivor. You know, and I'm just here excited to share my story and whatever Tiffany tell me to do, honey. She tell me to start stripping. I got you, girl.
Oh goodness. Yeah, so maybe not tonight's episode, but maybe the next week's episode, maybe. Yes. Well, the comedy has already started. It's going to be a good night, y'all. It's going to be a good night. I am going to go ahead and tag Miss Emerald in. Please introduce yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Emerald Elamine. I'm a domestic violence survivor. I'm a local actress in the area. I'm dibbling and dabbling in music, so you guys will hear one of my pieces. This was the piece I felt like I had to get out to get to the fun music that I'm focusing on now. So it was something holding me back. Hopefully you guys can take from my story as well as the song. Looking forward to working with everybody. It's been a pleasure working with Miss Tiffany since I met her back in May. So thanks again for having me.
Thank you. And last but not least, Mr. JT Thompson, who is going to be our host at the first BVP Project Safe Haven inaugural Purple Cabaret that is taking place on November 2nd. So I am so excited to have JT on with us as well tonight. Please introduce yourself, Mr. JT.
I think I got a great introduction just there. Humbled to be a part of this platform as well as the one November the 2nd. I am James JT Thompson, co-founder of Big Woo Radio, author, spoken word artist, all of those things. But I'm honored to be here tonight to hear the different stories, the testimonies, and to be a supporter and encourager and an upliftment. And nobody in this room is MIA tonight. Everybody is front stage and looking at it as a soldier of strength. So I'm looking on the platform as well as in the comments, and it's already happening. Everybody is a shining star tonight.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to Shy and Ace who are joining us tonight. They are 2 models that are going to be in our fashion show at November 2nd party. So we're saying it's a party and a cabaret. So even though we're going to be sharing domestic violence stories, but we're also going to have live performances by our own Miss Emerald that is on with us tonight. Of course, JT is going to be hosting. We're also going to be having Milestone that is going to be joining us, that is going to be performing. We're also going to have Diamond Cherie, who is going to be sharing her poetry. We have a lot of things lined up. So again, this cabaret on November 2nd is, we ain't gonna be in there crying and boo-hooing and all that. We're gonna be celebrating and having a good time. It's a party for a cause. So we're gonna be partying. This is not something we just gonna be sitting around just talking about domestic violence. No, we're gonna hear survivor stories. We're gonna talk about how you can help us change the community and reduce domestic violence, and then we're gonna party. We're going to party. We're going to celebrate surviving. We're going to celebrate life. And we're going to listen to live music, comedy, and poetry on November 2nd. So please make sure that you join us. And big shout out to our two models who are tuning in tonight. If you are watching right now, please, please, please share this on your Facebook pages and make it public so that people can watch, because this is an important cause and we are so appreciative of you sharing. So we are going to get started. We are going to get started.
You said, right?
I'm sorry. Say that again, Akia. Say it again. Yes, November 2nd is going to be right here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And girl, if you coming, I'm telling you now, I'm gonna be pulling you up on the stage to give us some jokes.
I'm gonna be drunk, girl. I'll tell all the jokes you want. I'm gonna be drunk.
Gotcha. Well, I'm gonna catch you before you have too many drinks. So that way we can keep everybody and you know doing good. Alrighty, so it is going to be a party for a cause. So I hope that all of you will come out. We will drop the link in the comments while we are live tonight so that you can go ahead and get your tickets tonight only. Okay. You'll be able to get a huge discount on your ticket. So come on out and support. So tonight we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to jump right in. We've already shared a little bit about the November 2nd event that is coming up. All right, y'all. I'm sorry. Something happened to my internet. I'm telling y'all, between the hurricane and me, did I pay my bill? I don't know. I think I paid my bill. Between the hurricane and everything else that has been going on in the community, my internet has been horrible for about a week and a half, 2 weeks. So I just know that I'm here. If something happens to me, I know that Tiffany will pick it up, because that's the job of the assistant director. Okay. So if I get missing, y'all know. So we're going to get started. Miss Akia, I know that you are a comedian, and we already know that you're funny because you already got us going, but you're a survivor too. Can you please share your story with us? Because I think it's really important that people understand and recognize that even those that are under the spotlight, that are celebrities, that are comedians, that are artists, that are mothers, that are women, that anybody can be a victim of domestic violence. And so we would love to hear your story.
Well, I think mine was a typical love story, if you will. It started out with the whining and the dining. He was Mr. Perfect, you know. He did and said everything right, you know. He was really good with the children. He was on time in the beginning, you know. He was on time. And I think I became too comfortable with him too fast. I think I didn't give myself that time to truly learn who he was. And then it kind of moved fast for us. I think I wasn't able to see his true colors right off, because part of our relationship, he was in and out of prison a lot. So, I got the jail talk and the sweet nothings. And, so I wasn't, really aware. I wasn't even aware of what domestic violence even was at the time, or even, I don't even recall anybody even using that term around me. So I didn't know that the little jealousy signs, the jealousy things that he would do would be like, those are red flags, that he's really not just, the cute little jealous. No, he's really like jealous, We moved in with each other about 8 to 9 months after us dating. And that's when things quickly took a change for me. It became a throwing things first, popping up where I was, the constant calling, um, the belittling that came first. I think after the first year is when the true violence started, and it just seems like every fight became more intense. I wasn't Miss Perfect anymore. Everything I did was wrong. Even when he was wrong, I was wrong. I was the reason for it. It was, my fault why he did what he did. I should have did this. I could have did this. I could have done that. I don't know. I've never been hurt by a person that much in my life until I got with him. Um, I've technically been raped by my own husband. I've been beaten, stabbed, shot. Um, you name it, it's happened. Physically had a baby beaten out of me. So you name it, it's
Mm.
happened. Couldn't understand why. Um, at first, I went through the mental stages. Feel like maybe if I do this right, or maybe if I say this, or try to learn the habits that will lessen the beatings. I don't know, and it just seemed to, for me, it just seemed to intensify them. It just seemed to make him more mad. When I figured out the magic potion for him not to beat me for this, it was just okay. So I'll just beat you for that, So it was just always something. I was beat for his insecurities.
Mm.
The crazy thing of it all, y'all, is that every time I would get upset or say that I wanted to leave him and I would complain about it, it was never because he physically hit me. I never really said it was because of physical violence. I always named everything else. I couldn't figure out why. I was programmed by him for so long to feel like I wasn't enough. I wasn't attractive. Um, I don't know. I became really, really insecure. Was once a vibrant, confident woman, and I just became a weak, timid, scared individual. In a matter of no time, I went from weighing 206 pounds to 123 pounds in less than a year. I lost hair. I currently suffer from lack of vision in my left eye. He hit me so hard that um, it caused a tear in my cornea, and then over time, it just kind of just got worse. Um, I tried to leave. I followed all the steps that everybody told me, um, and to the point where it got where I lost everybody because I kept going back. Um, Literally everybody, even my mom, um, said that she didn't want to deal with me anymore because it was just too much. Him coming to the house, and when I did try to leave, so it just got to the point where I just said, you know what, ain't even no point to keep trying to leave. He's gonna find me. He's gonna harass my family. Police ain't gonna do nothing but slap him on the wrist and just let him back out. It's just like, use my language, but damned if I do, damned if I don't. I don't want to kill him because I'm not a killer, but I don't want him to hurt me either. So what can I do? And I lived in that fear up until the day he cheated on me the last time with the last female, and he ended up shooting her 3 times. Is currently why he's in prison now.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, and I just gave out the short version because I still struggle. It's still a
Of course.
struggle. Um, for me, especially now, um, being in the limelight so much now. Back then, nobody knew me. Nobody, now you can go on Country Wayne's page and you see me, or you can go on, so it's different now. I lost who I was with him. I lost who I was with him, and comedy is helping me find the innocent woman that I once was. and she's bringing her to the woman that I'm becoming. I'm sorry, y'all, because this is
Take your time. You're good. It's okay.
I think the scariest thing of it all was going through the process alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
And being asked questions that you honestly didn't have the answer to, right? Why don't you leave? Why do you stay? Right? And the answer is so simple. It's because you love him, right?
Mm-hmm.
He don't meet you every day. He doesn't, um, he doesn't do these things to me every day. So he has his moments where he's really, really loving. He's really, really sweet. Um, and he promises you all those things, and you have that little inkling of hope in you that really, really wants him to do it. So you kind of put the blinders on and see and hear what you want to, if you will. I'm not speaking for everyone because everyone is not me. Everyone is going through difference. But me, for me, I wanted it. I wanted him to change. I wanted to prove everybody wrong. I did, and it's just, it was hard because the one person that I wanted to get it together and get it right was the person that was hurting me the most. And I would make excuses for it. Um, lie about where the bruises came from. Even it was at one point I would defend him, um, and make it like I was the big bad wolf. At times, when he damaged property or um, stuff like that. So that's me. That's my story. I'm still struggling. Um, and I'm struggling even more knowing that I've done everything that everybody has asked me to do, and he's getting out of jail in less than 5 years. He'll be home this year in 2 more months. That's where I'm at right now. So that's why this is really, really emotional because he's coming home. He's coming
Do
home,
you,
and it's just like that fear all over again. Like, is he coming to find me?
that's what I was saying. Do you have a plan?
Yeah, but I can't tell it on live.
No. As long as you have a plan, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. No, but as long as you have a plan, I think that's the first step to you breaking the chain of him. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. So I have a
And
question.
always keep a list of resources.
Yep.
Have an A, B, C, and D plan. And I don't know if Tiffany's going to talk about the Earn Your Wings thing, but that might be something you can really get a lot out of.
Okay.
And I'll even put my foot forward and advocate for you if you need me to.
Oh, I appreciate you. I have a plan. It's the GUN plan. It's the new one that
Get
with
up
Kamala.
now.
Yeah, she just told me about it, and she said it's free. Yeah, she said it's free. So yeah, I'm gonna work on it. Mm-hmm. But no, seriously, I have been prepping myself for this day, mentally, physically, and spiritually. I'm not gonna lie. Just because like I said, I'm this journey has been difficult for so many other reasons. Mentally, I'm in a different place. Physically, I'm in a different place. Spiritually, I'm in a different place.
Good.
Me personally, I don't think, and don't jinx me for this, but me personally, I don't believe that my God that I serve is even going to let that encounter come towards me. I don't even think I'm going to have to even that my circle, you're not even going to be able to come into the circle and the realm that he puts around me. And I strongly, strongly, strongly believe that, So like I said, then I wasn't introduced to as many things as I am now, like even the word or the term or what it meant. So now I'm aware of what it is. I'm aware of the mistakes that I've made, even, and I'm aware of what's going on. And like I said, I pray That is the main thing, is that I pray for clarity. I pray for peace. I pray that God opens my eyes and shows me what I need to know. I promise you, I can walk down the street and somebody could get killed 5 minutes ago and I won't know anything about it. And that's real. So my plan is to use God as my first, middle, and ending solution to everything I do. And if that don't work, yeah, Tiffany, come bail me out.
Do you know how many times I hear survivors say, "Girl, you are you ready to bail me out?" And I'm like, "Yep, I got you. I got you." And I say
Because
that
it took me a
because
long time to get to this place, though. Like, it
yeah,
took a long time for me to get to this place, to the point where I want, like, yeah, okay, now I ain't
yeah,
gonna kill you, but you come running up over here, it's not gonna be the same thing. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? So, and it took a
yeah,
lot for me to get here, for real.
yeah. Yeah. Well, one thing we do share with victims and survivors is that you have the right to protect yourself, right? So if you have someone who is stalking you, harassing you, threatening your life, so forth and so on, of course, the first thing we're going to do is tell the police, right? We know that not all police divisions are as thorough, or not all are as empathic as they should be. And a lot of police officers do not take domestic violence seriously. We know that. So then the second step is do a restraining order. We know that still through the police and the court system. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. So when the next step is let your family and friends know, even those who have alienated you or even those you have isolated from, because at least that lets them know that you are planning to get out, because you're letting them know what's about to take place. The other step that you can take is tell your neighbors. So for me, there was a young lady across the street. I found out that her boyfriend beat her up. And I was like, I'm so sorry to hear that. I found out through my daughter. I'm so sorry to hear that. I said, did my daughter tell you that I'm a domestic violence advocate? She said, yeah, she did. I said, what else did my daughter tell you? She said, she gave me your phone number, and she also gave me the domestic violence line. I said, yeah, I trained my children to be advocates too. But then I also let her know, you need to let the rest of the neighbors know, so that when you are not home or you are home and his car comes down the street, we're all aware that he's not supposed to be there. Right? So first, reporting to the police, doing a restraining order, telling your family and friends, telling your neighbors. Lastly, well, no, not lastly, because I can keep going. Tell your employer if you have a job, right? Where you go on a regular occasion, whether that's your best friend's house, whether that's to go get your nails done. Let those people know, like, hey, I've got a restraining order. Ain't no telling that this man might show up. Tell people that you trust, but then also tell people that need to know. Your family, your friends, your neighbors, your job, so that everybody is aware. So that when that man walked into your job, they're like, nope, especially the receptionist. Receptionists need to know everything. They usually know everything about everybody's business. Most receptionists and secretaries, right? have his picture up at the front at the reception desk, so that she knows that if this man walks into your job, I know you're a comedian full time, you're a millionaire, so you might not have a receptionist or secretary sitting outside your office. You might have her traveling with you, Akia. But tell your manager, tell your comedian friends, look out for this man.
I literally, I ain't gonna lie to you, when I have pictures printed out of him in color.
Good.
And I used to give them to my daycare, like my baby's daycare, the school, or like places that I know that I frequent often that he knew of. I literally would give those pictures out to people and just like, hey, if you see him, you know what I'm saying? Hey, can you shoot me a text? Even if I'm not going, hey, can you just shoot me a text so I know not to come that way or whatever. I did that after a while, because it was just like he was catching me everywhere. With the air tag thing, those little air tags.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Turn y'all's locations off. Turn your location off on your phone, because everybody can be found nowadays, especially on social media. Turn your location off, especially if you have a stalker or an abuser or somebody that you're afraid of. Turn your location off. Turn it off. Not everybody needs to know where you are, especially when you do social media.
I did want to ask y'all too. For me, because I'm so public, I needed to talk to you anyway because it's like, what can I do now? Because I'm so public. It's like I can't
Mhm.
not post where I'm going to be. I can't not
Mhm.
post. It's
Yeah.
open to the public. You're able to come see me if you buy it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
now it's my situation is a little different now because I've
Yeah.
put myself on the forefront now where I'm easy access. All he has to do is go
Yeah.
online.
Yeah, we can definitely talk about that offline because we don't want to, of course, talk about it online.
Right.
But we can definitely talk about some ways you can protect yourself being a a celebrity and traveling and having to disclose your location. So we're going to be sharing some suggestions and helpful hints all night as we hear stories. And so definitely we'll talk offline about that so I can give you some tips on how to protect yourself when you're a very public person. Definitely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. We're going to take a 1-minute break and then we're going to come back and we're going to get some laughs on before we move on to Miss Tiffany to hear her story. Be right back.
And he get all the praise. Looking for that old Slim. They say this all the fame, but I ain't going back and I ain't looking back either. Blessed and highly favored to be called God people. Blessed and I'm highly favored. I'm blessed and I'm highly favored. You know what?
Sorry.
All right. New year. New business ventures. Yeah. We are. Yeah. I'm something that you young boys never seen. OG said us out the mud, but my nails clean. How you do it? How you make it out the system? How you dodge all the traps? How you rap with the vision? How you Christian still rage against the system? Still shoot the rock like he played for the Pistons. 88, 89 Isaiah Thomas on the grind. Haters gon' hate, don't make me pay y'all some mind. And I've been on the line getting finer with the times. God on my side, so my vibe is divine. And I don't say much, but if you play with one of mine, I'ma lay one of yours down the same way every wine. Whole reverses, I suggest you research. Came in a humble, now I live it, no rehearse. Need it, make it hard for you to beat it. I was hard on the boulevard. Far disregard of my God when I pull up. They was still sleep, how dare y'all overlook us? But y'all slept. I was in the kitchen whipping something different. And I can do the most, but still settled in position. More to keep it lit, I let it simmer from a distance. My talk is the bite that you feel when you slipping. It's God body, I don't hide my scars. Every day is a gift, but y'all's not like ours. All black everything. Even down to the wedding ring. For the masses, I'm a smash, I'm a ball hog. Talking still cheeks, so if I'm still, then we all lost. Never X'd out, checks for time, ain't a small cause. Post pivot before COVID. I was in them streets, blue bag, pushing alpha, but before you know it, we touched down, we the winners, this is us now. Started out with rap, now the breed looking plush now. Gangsta, Lord, I thank you. I was in the trenches, but boy, I came up. And bump fame, I'm trying to feed my kids. Run down on you lanes like we that itch. How you cool in the hood, but can't see that flip. How you move if you could, but homie, we that switch. Never lost what God gave me. We stand tall. Yeah, staff game crazy, can't see me ball. Yeah, how's what?
Nice. That was The Book by Jay Locke, everyone. Make sure that y'all go and follow him, Jay Locke, and thank you for sending in your music for tonight's special episode to support domestic violence survivors. James, JT, I wanted to hear your feedback on Akia's story as a man listening to the story, and then also as a minister and hearing how her faith really was tested during this time. I would love to hear your feedback.
When listening to her story, when I heard her, the first time that I heard her say something about her faith, it resonated different. And talking about the process, all of that is a process. The strength that we don't know we have until we have to incorporate it. You're still penning the testimony and turning what was traumatic into, something that you can put into yourself. The strength it took for you to talk to us tonight, you also are building, continuing within yourself. And when I'm listening to you, I'm like, you know what? She's trusting, and the process of building the strength of that trust is amazing within itself, because when you're in that state of brokenness and trying to figure it out and everything is shattered like glass, the faith that you just incorporated in speaking, you know, it built something here, because I see, you know, God is pouring into you as you're talking, and the people that need to hear it tonight and that will, you know, hear it November the 2nd. Your story of strength with somebody that doesn't have that strength, you know, at this moment, and was at a place where you were, and you understand, you know, what that was. From a man's point of view, I can tell you at 6 years old was the first time that I you know, discovered domestic situations. At 6 years old, I had to push my mother out the door to keep her from being stabbed. So when you're talking about going through all kind of different situations, imagine being what I deemed a referee in order to keep my mental where it needed to be at 6 years old. I definitely can understand the traumatization of going through something over and over and over and over, and you don't see that end until that day comes. So, for one, I commend you for the strength to pour that out of your spirit. And I encourage you to continue to walk into that gift that God has blessed you with, the comedic gift, the ability to say, okay, one day at a time, God, I understand and I know you got me. And I give you the ultimate praise of saying, keep being who you are, because you just gave the world a piece of you, and somebody needed to hear that. So I thank God for your presence tonight on this platform, and I thank God for Him giving you the courage to speak your truth. And God continue to bless you and keep you covered always, and continue to build that strength in your spirit.
Beautifully said. Thank you, JT. Thank you, JT. Akia, I really wanted JT on here tonight because I knew that we didn't have any men that were sharing tonight. Unfortunately, one wasn't able to make it at the last minute. And so I really wanted him to be here so that he can share his perspective as a man when it comes to domestic violence. And I did not know that story, JT, about when you were sick. So I'm glad that I did ask you to come, because I don't believe I've heard that before. So being a child of domestic violence, how was that for you, James?
Well, it's like, you know, a lot of people think that it only affects the person that's being abused. And it happens in your environment, it affects everybody in that environment. And so I felt that when I was listening to a kid speak, and I'm like, yeah, it's different. Because once you experience that realm, it's the emotional part. A lot of people just think, oh, it's not just the physical. It is the mental part of that, and the verbal abuse and those things that will take you down through there too. It is just as painful. It is just as traumatizing as the physical. And so once you experience it, life is not ever really the same. But you know, in seeing it from a child's eyes, it's even more, because you a child, you like a sponge. So everything that you're looking at, everything that you're taking in, it's shaping and molding you as you're going into your teenage years, your adult years. And as a man, you know, not only are you looking at all, you know, the wrong things to do, but you're also trying to challenge the right things to do and incorporate them in your relationships and in your marriages. And you know, when things are happening to your mother and your sister, and you know cousins and know their stories, you know, you look at life a little bit different. You know, you're able to look and not be so hardened on the inside, but be more so. It's great to have a listening ear, an open heart, and an available soul to be leaned on, to be vented to, but to also pour into those that need that strength. Because your testimony, like we found out tonight, and we'll hear from others, somebody that's listening, watching, or will see this or hear this, they needed that upliftment, that encouragement, that strength. And that's what it's all about.
That is definitely what it's all about. Thank you for sharing your story too, JT. And it's nice to be able to hear that from you, because it really does affect our children when they witness domestic violence. So don't think that when your children see you getting yelled at or seeing you getting hit, that because it's not happening to them, that it's not affecting them. It is. And if you don't get help for both you and your children, the possibility of your child growing up to be an abusive person is high if you don't get them help. So either they become abusive or they get into abusive relationships if they're not helped. So either one can happen or both. I've seen where females have been in domestic violence relationships and have also become the abuser, the same woman, because she doesn't know how to be in healthy relationships. So even when she's in a relationship that's not unhealthy per se, she doesn't know how to treat the person that she's with because she's used to so many bad relationships. And so she becomes the abuser. I've seen that. I've also seen men who have been in domestic violence relationships and the woman is abusive and he witnessed abuse as a child. So I've seen it both ways. So thank you for sharing that part of your story, JT. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I see that Akia dropped off, so we are going to move forward to Miss Tiffany. Miss Tiffany, as you all know, is the director, assistant director of the private room, and she has her own story to tell. And so she is going to share her story tonight related to human trafficking. And the reason why I've asked her to share is one, she's going to be one of the first graduates of the Earn Your Wings coaching program that I started back in September of this year.
Last year.
Last year. And we took a little break and restarted in January. So she's going to be graduating from the cohort. And then also because human trafficking is related to domestic violence. Just because a person may not be taken and immediately used for human trafficking, it is a form of domestic violence because most likely you are in the home of your abuser and the person who is trafficking you. You might have had domestic violence history because that is a risk factor of becoming a victim of human trafficking, is that you've experienced some kind of abuse before. That's not every risk, not for everyone, but that is a risk factor. And then the other is that it's still a form of domestic violence because it's someone that you most likely entrusted who is now trafficking you. So it does go together. So, Akia, are you ready to give us some laughs?
What? Girl,
You ready to
I
give
ain't no comedian, girl.
Girl, stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We are here.
Y'all should have told me to wear a different wig or something, girl, because I was not ready, girl.
No, I know y'all know that y'all don't believe that. This girl is beautiful. Look at her. Look at her.
Is it real patchy for y'all? Because my signal is like y'all are going in and out. I can hear every other word.
Yeah,
so
not
y'all
for
hear me.
We can hear everything you're saying.
What? Huh?
We can hear everything you're saying.
I can't hear nothing.
Uh-oh. All right. So we're gonna move forward with Tiffany. If Akia comes back on, then we will let her end out the episode tonight. Because I think we're gonna need that after hearing our stories tonight. So Tiffany, please share your story with us.
Okay. I'm gonna give the shorter version because I really want to get out a lot of information that might be misconstrued when people hear about human trafficking. So I'll start off with my story. I was 19 and I decided I was going to visit a friend. And in the midst of meeting up with them, I was introduced to a friend of his. The girl that he introduced me to, she seemed pretty cool. And I was very naive, very gullible. And the plan was we were supposed to go to see a movie, all of us. It was like 5 of us, and me and her were kind of walking ahead of the group. So she's like, "Oh, let's get better seats than them. So follow me. I know a shortcut. So I'm following this girl. And mind you, I'm in New York, in the city. I don't know my way around like that. So we end up on some block with some dudes. And what she was trying to do was she was trying to put me off on them and have her be like the pimp. But I kind of killed that noise because I was like, I'm not doing that. So I kept saying I want to go back to the group of friends. You know what I mean? Like, I need to go back. I need to go back because I knew my friend's mom would freak out if I wasn't with him because she's very protective of me. And so this is before cell phones and all of that jazz. So I had no way to communicate with anyone. Fast forward. She kept promising me that she was going to take me back. We ended up on a bus and she kept saying, oh, we just got to see my daddy. Now, mind you, we left her house because she wanted to shower or whatever. And I met her father. So when she said, I want to go see my daddy, I didn't know what she meant by it because, again, I didn't know. Human trafficking back then wasn't a term, but pimping was. So when we got off the bus, and I tell people this, and this goes along with what JT was saying, this was God's gift to me for this scenario. When I got off the bus, I noticed a broken payphone. I made a note of it, and I said to myself, how the hell could somebody break a phone like that? As we get to this house, I notice there's a bunch of guys outside, and I'm like, I hope we're not going there. I hope we're not going there. I hope we're not going there. Sure enough, we stop in the middle of the street. They say to her, what you want, hoe? To her. Or some other derogatory term. And I was like, wait a minute. She said this is her daddy's house. Why are they calling her that? And then like this feeling of dread just like came over me. So she's like, oh, where's daddy? So the guy goes and gets this dude that comes out. And he's like, what do you want, ho? That's what it was. He said, what do you want, ho? And I said, oh, hell no. So then she's like, oh, daddy, look, I brought us a new hoe. So I'm looking around like, who the fuck is she talking about? I don't apologize for my language. I'm sorry, but
No, you don't have to.
I'm raw as it comes. So I said, who the fuck is she talking about? I'm looking for a shadow to even, but it was getting dark. So he's like, oh, I'll be right down. So he takes us to like the back of this schoolhouse and he starts asking me all these questions. Do I have a sister? Do I have a cousin? Do I have any friends? I told him I just graduated high school. All of my friends are going off to college. I'm the only girl. I have brothers, not sisters. And the only female cousins I have are in South Carolina. So he's like, okay. So this is where I feel and I felt like God took over my tongue. Because the questions that this man was asking me, I gave him false information. I was scared. When he told me to go use that payphone to call my parents to tell them that I'm not coming home, that I have a boyfriend in New York now that's going to take care of me, I freaked out. I didn't say anything in the moment about the phone being broken, which was my saving grace, because had I said something, he would have escorted me, no pun intended, to the next bodega to use the payphone there. And then I wouldn't be here right now having this conversation with y'all. He asks me a question and the girl answers on my behalf. And the next thing I know is I hear and he punched her in the face. He had heavy gold rings on every finger of his hands, both hands. And he just clocked her. So I know it was for him to make an example out of her to prove to me like he's not messing around. So I walk over to the phone. I picked up the phone. He had her follow, come with me. I pick up the phone. I show him the phone. So then he yells over to go down to the next block to use the next payphone. I had 2 minutes to make the call and come back. Otherwise, he was going to send his guys after me or whatever. So as he's walking away, I'm watching him out of my peripheral. And as I see him walk down the street and I can't see him out of my peripheral anymore, I started running. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know where I was at to even know where to go, but I just ran. I ran over some bridge that wasn't meant for pedestrians because there was car horns beeping at me and everything else. And when I finally got to the subway, I got on the platform and the girl that he punched in the face was like, she screamed my name. And it was the way she screamed my name that made me stop. And I told her, I was like, look, I have money. I'll put you on a bus. Just come with me. And she said, no, I can't come. I can't come. He knows where I live. He'll kill my parents. I don't know what happened to the girl. I have no idea what happened to her. I know the guilt and the shame that I felt from just going through that experience alone put me in a very deep, dark place where a month later I had attempted suicide. And when I woke up in the hospital, I was pissed. I was mad at God. I was like, why did you let me live? Why am I here? That was in 2000. It took 14 years for that answer to finally come in to fruition. Because it was then that I realized that I survived that ordeal so that I could be the one to help other girls get out of that from what I went through. Now, things are a little different because we have social media, we have dating apps, we have all of these things that weren't out when I went through it. But I'm not taking any chances of not learning whatever it is I need to learn so that I can be up to date in helping young girls. I mean, it's everywhere. Everywhere. So, that is my story. However, I am also a domestic violence survivor as well. But that story doesn't really hold as much weight as the one I just told. So I want to start by saying that human trafficking isn't just like kidnapping and taking you across state lines, which a lot of people tend to think. Trafficking isn't seeing a white van in a Walmart parking lot. However, it could become that. But that's not, oh, I almost got trafficked. No, you almost got abducted. There's a difference. Not saying that these traffickers don't use that kind of way of getting a victim, but most traffickers know their victims. They, what's the word I'm looking for?
They say that social media is one of the number one ways that traffickers meet, especially young girls.
Absolutely. Because
teenage
young girls will show their vulnerability through words and emojis.
Yeah.
Oh, she used a sad face. She must be vulnerable. Let me ask her some questions. Let me get her trust. Let me tell her how much I care and I can be such a good friend. And don't be fooled. Like, I tell moms this all the time, that if your daughter has a friend and you have not met this girl's family, please be careful. And don't take it, oh, she has her brother takes care of her. No. Or, oh, it's her dad. If
Yes,
she wants to
my
hang
daughter
out with you,
doesn't.
let her come over here. You're not going over there.
Yeah, my daughter doesn't go to any household where there's a man present without me checking them out first. And
Mm-hmm.
trust me, I will do a whole sex offender search and everything. My kids know I don't play. But I also don't let my kids go to anybody's house that I haven't met their parents yet. And if I haven't met them physically, I'm on the phone with them. Like, is my child there? Is she okay? Everything good? Do you need anything? I'm that
Mm-hmm.
mom.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I one thing when it comes to domestic violence and sexual assault and human trafficking is parents, stop being the naive one. Stop being the naive one. Don't ignore your child's habits changing, their clothes changing, their
Having
behavior
money,
changing.
having expensive things that like you normally wouldn't be able to afford.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
attitude change, sleeping during the day or feeling sleepy during the day. Um,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want to get too deep into it because it can get a little bit triggering, and I don't want anybody that might be watching to be triggered, but it can be family members that are doing it.
Very true.
Um, and human trafficking has a bunch of different, you have forced labor, you have financial. I mean, it's always going to be financial because there's money involved, but
Mhm.
forced labor, um, sex trafficking, which is the big one that we all know about. Um, financial bondage. That's something I wanted to talk about because it's not talked about enough. But our elderly, any vulnerable population, is they got a bullseye on them for a trafficker. But financial bondage is when somebody takes control over an elderly person's finances and leaves the elderly person without the needs
Mhm.
that need to be met for their health, their well-being, physically,
Mhm.
emotionally, whatever the case might be. I think we see that a lot in
Mhm.
some cases where home health aides, they say, oh, I can move in, I can take care of your mom or your dad, and 6 months down the line your parent is unrecognizable because they're not eating, but yet she's living the high road,
Mhm. Yeah. And
you know what I
unfortunately,
mean?
we
So
also see, I'm sorry, yeah, unfortunately, we also see children doing it to their parents too. They take
mhm.
over their disability or their retirement checks and they are paying their own bills, going shopping for themselves, so forth and so on. And their parent is being neglected of their needs, their medications, their doctor's appointments, clothing, food, and so forth.
Yeah, yeah. So but I will leave you guys with the hotline number. So if you happen to know someone that's going through trafficking, has gone through trafficking, and might need resources, the number to call is 888-373-7888. So you
Can you
guys
repeat
can
that,
also,
Tiffany?
huh?
Can you repeat it?
Sure, hold on, because I have my glasses on now. I gotta look smart. Hold on. Um the number is 888-373-7888. And you can also text info to 233-733.
Thank you. If you can drop that in the comments on the live thread, that would be great so that everybody has it. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for sharing your story. I know you shared with us before, but I really appreciate you sharing, and I definitely appreciate you being the first of my cohorts for my coaching program. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to celebrating you graduating and continuing to share your story all over the world. I'm really looking forward to that and being there with you.
Thank you. Also, you guys, if you want to, you can join my Facebook group called Lost Voices, #help me help them. There is resources, missing people. I post missing people or missing persons. I'm becoming a lot more involved with the Indigenous missing women. So if you have any information you want to share, or if you want to post a missing person that you know, feel free. But again, it's Lost Voices, #help me help them.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. JT, do you have any experience with human trafficking as meaning, have you ever counseled anyone who maybe been a victim of human trafficking, or have you had any experience with this population before as a minister?
I've encountered a community of folks that the myth is, oh, it only happens on Lifetime or TV. It's not real. Tiffany, you remind me of the confirmation that your story is important. When I was listening to you talk, I was thinking everything that you said is meant for informative for somebody that's going through it right now. It's very important that you had the courage to tell it and never get tired of speaking your truth, because it is real. It's not just what you see on TV. And the stories, like you said, God was covering you in those moments and giving you what you needed. And it doesn't dumb down the fact that, you know, for the stories that we hear that people get caught and trapped up in it. It's just, you know, every situation is different. But these are why these conversations are so relative. Because, you know, we need to be educated. We need to get those signs and those tips of what to watch, you know, out for, and not get caught up in the myths. The myths are out there to distract you from the real things that can happen in code. And now in a very social age where social media dominates, we got to continue to keep our radars up. I thank God for the coverage of your life and you having the voice. He gave you the platform before you even had the outlet, and built strength within you to be able to speak your truth, to develop your own platforms, to be able to help and pour back in and help people that gone through it and help prevent people from going through it. So I commend you for your strength and your courage, and to don't ever stop telling your story, because it's very, very important that you keep an open spirit and an open soul. Because as we're sitting here talking tonight, there is some bodies that are going through those traumatic experiences right now and can't break those chains. This is how we begin to break those chains, by continuing to have these conversations and tireless efforts, and using our platforms to help and assist and encourage and keep the olive branch out there. For every person that we are able to touch, there are multiple people that we're still trying to touch and be an outlet for and be an olive branch for. So, well, Tiffany, Kia, Tiffany Brown, we ain't gonna stop, because this, as long as we understand the assignment and continue to understand it and continue to can help people, you know, get out, get help, and be advocates and stand in the gap for the strength they need for when they're going through these situations.
Yeah. Thank you, JT. I appreciate you sharing that. We're going to take a 1-minute break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to hear Emerald's story. We'll be right back.
love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. Remember when you took me on that flight? All the times that we drove around all night. All the shopping trips, you bought me what I like. Never did me wrong, always did me right. My best friend became so distant. We couldn't fix it. Gave you years, that wasn't minutes. Now I'm on a mission. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love. I need your love. I need your touch. I need your love.
That was MK Bramlett, one of my favorite up and coming R&B vocalists out right now in the Queen City. Go vote for her on Queen City Awards for the Female Artist of the Year, R&B Female Artist of the Year, and all that good stuff. You will find her, MK Bramlett. Follow her on Instagram and Facebook. She's one of my favorites. I'm telling you, you're going to love her. So go follow her on Instagram and Facebook, and vote for her on Queen City Awards daily up until, I believe, October 25th. So thank you so much, everyone, for continuing to watch. Unfortunately, we have one artist and one speaker who cannot join us tonight. Both of them had last minute emergencies. So we will get them on another time. But that does not mean that we are done. We have Miss Emerald El Amin, who has joined us. Hello, girl. How you doing?
Hi everyone, I'm well. I'm getting some new motivation and inspiration from everybody's stories tonight. So
good. I'm glad. Well, I met you back in May when Reese Raps was hosting her event, and you were there as a creative and offering your story there for that event. So thank you for staying in contact with me, and now being a part of our first inaugural Purple Cabaret, which is taking place on November 2nd. So I'm so excited to have you here tonight. Yeah, so people know what to look forward to. They know what to look forward to. They're going to have Akia J there November 2nd. Now they're going to have Emerald there. JT is going to be there. So I'm letting y'all know this is a party for a cause. This is not a funeral. This is not a place that we're going to go and cry for 3 hours. No, this is a party for a cause. So I hope that you all are getting ready to get your tickets. I'm going to offer a discount code before we get off for you to get your tickets for the next 24 hours at a deep discount just for watching tonight. So Emerald, please share your story with us, Ellie.
So I am a 36-year-old native of Charlotte. I have 3 children of my own. I have a host of children, stepchildren. I love all of my kids. However, JT and was saying earlier about some of the things that happen in domestic violence that affects the children. And that is one of the spaces I'm in now. The song that I actually performed back in May, as well as the one that you guys will hear tonight, it talks about picking up the pieces. Even when you make it out of a situation like that, that's just been very toxic, from the physical, emotional, verbal abuse, it's hard to pick up those pieces, because after, children are like sponges, and after they've absorbed so much after such a long amount of time, It's a saying that I heard. It's easier to build a child up than to fix a a broken adult. And I mean, although that's true, I seen someone in the comments ask, like, what do we do? It really starts in the community, because you never know what child or who's going through what. Being a big brother, big sister, being able to donate some of your time, that's something that can help the kids. And I love my kids, but unfortunately they have been affected by that, just that trauma for themselves. My journey individually, I had a lot of shame about even expressing my specific story, mainly because I've been a domestic survivor twice. My first ex, again, I was with him from the time I was about 17 years old. I heard you, Miss Tiffany, say, you know, you were 19 and naive. I was the same way. I was lied to by my children's father about his age. He was too much older than me, and it wasn't a good look. I still ended up, you know, wanting to prove some people wrong, you know, like Mr. Kia had mentioned, you know, that, okay, maybe it's, this is an exception, you know, I just can't be one of these women out here. It was a lot of shame involved with my story as to why I stayed, and maybe wanting to see more in somebody than they were giving me. So a lot of my story and my self journey just reflects back to learning how to not only love myself more than the situation or the person that I was loving more than myself, but also rebuilding my relationship with God and understanding that I don't need others' flesh as long as I have mine and my faith in Him. I think loving yourself, that's key to it. And once I started taking accountability for being in both of those situations, it got a little bit easier, but I still had to remember, hey, you can't beat yourself up about it, you know?
Right. You got to show yourself grace.
And that was hard. So what I do want to say is therapy definitely helped with that. That's something just in our community in general that a lot of people, I'm not going to say look down on, but they don't know enough about to really understand the aspects of it. Although, you know, yeah, you can talk to your friends, you can talk to your family. When you have someone that's trained to help you think a different way and be able to say, hey, you're justified for feeling the way that you do. So we're here now. You don't have control over this. This is what you have control over. How can you still accomplish your goals and get the? Also, don't beat yourself up. You got to have this trained person. I'm not going to say you have to, but it definitely helped in my situation. I was with my first domestic violence situation, our relationship, for a total of 2 children. Again, he lied to me about my age, so I just felt like I was gullible, naive for sticking around. Unfortunately, he did pass some time ago, so that was another burden of trauma on top of what I had already experienced with him. We weren't in a good spot when he passed, and then my daughters didn't really have a relationship to build with their father. And his death wasn't anything less than traumatic. So again, dealing with this with a child in another domestic violence situation with someone who's not even their father, I'm learning that picking up those pieces by yourself is a lot. It's a lot, especially when you want to do better. I went to another situation and stayed in that one for 12 years. I like to think that I grew up in a house of love, and when I learned that all people aren't nice, some people were raised on survival versus love. That was an eye-opener, because you're still in shock. You don't get that people aren't like, you know, when you're raised in a house of love, even though, you know, it might not be the most to some, it definitely makes a difference. So you expect that from everybody else, especially when you're not as versed in the world as some of your peers. So having to see people's true colors, and realizing everybody's not like me, or everybody doesn't have the heart that I feel like they should have. That was eye-opening. My last situation to where I say, hey, let me just take a break. No situationships, no boyfriends, no nothing. My ex, he threw a glass at my head and cracked my skull. It had just missed. I have a titanium plate in my head. It had just missed my my eye on the left side where my cords and stuff is in my brain. I'm just thankful. I just got a little astigma, you know. I thank God every day. And, you know, I try not to give the people who put me through this so much power, but I do know that at some point I need to share my story in more detail to help other girls out to get past that. I'm still in a space where, again, talking about it, it's like, you really went through that shit. So it's like, no, you can't go through that again. And I'm just learning to love myself right now again and try to pick up the pieces of my children, all of my children, just to make sure they're better off than I was on a mental capacity. I want to think that it was maybe that me growing up in just straight love and knowing nothing about how other people are in the real world, so to speak, was a lot to why I accepted some of the things. But after I gave myself that grace, hey, you made this mistake, it's still learning how not to go back to some of those ways with other situations or other people, you know, not being a people pleaser, not being okay if I got a problem with something, I gotta tell you, you know, not being timid because I'm afraid somebody's gonna raise their voice or gonna see me as confrontational, because it makes you that way when you're scared that you're gonna get hit just because you are speaking true facts in your mind. Miss Akia, like I could resonate with her story earlier. You could be in, he do something wrong, you wrong, it's still your fault. You mad at me because you don't know how to deal with your emotions. Why can't you just go play the game, go for a walk? You still gonna come back with an attitude. Why? Because I'm here and I'm gonna accept it. And when I stop accepting it is when I'm gonna just stop getting it. And this is what I had to learn throughout both of my journeys. I hate that I got into the second one. It's just like, again, it's like, bitch, you really did that. So I give myself grace, but it's just like, yeah, no. The third time, like, where we got our friend GUN. Mine's got a nickname, Krishan. I call her Krishan Glock. I'm not playing no more. So, but on a serious note, definitely taking time to myself and learning who I am and learning how to love myself through what I may perceive as mistakes or not knowing any better prior to allowing myself to stay in these situations for so long. That's been a big kicker, as well as the therapy that I've been implementing to get some of those frustrations out when I feel like I just need a kink in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, lady, for sharing your story. I'm sorry I went out there for a second. I am so excited to have you sharing your story. I know you said that you need to share your story a little bit more and in more detail. I would love to offer my coaching program to you to join us because that's what it's about. It's about talking about your story, being comfortable with your story, how to start sharing your story, what that looks like, the different characteristics of an advocate and so forth. So I would love to offer that to you for you to be a part of the coaching program. The next one starts in November. I'm offering free coaching for 30 days in November and December, and then the complete program starts back in January. So I would love to have you. I'm extending that out to everybody that is watching, that if you are a survivor of any kind of trauma, not just domestic violence, and you want to share your story, and you're interested in becoming an advocate, we'll love to offer you the free coaching in November and December, and possibly do the complete coaching program so that you can become a bona fide advocate. So would definitely love to offer that to you, Miss Emerald. I am so excited to hear your piece tonight. Are you ready?
I am.
All right. Okay. Well, I'm going to pull up your music. Rachel, yes, come on. You already know. So I'm going to put the link down right now in the comments. You can use the 30-day free coaching link that you will find on the website that I share. Just fill out the form and I will be in contact with you about the free coaching or the full coaching program. I will definitely do that. So I will drop it in the comments. I'm going to go ahead and get your music ready. Thank you, Shonda. So Kashonda was supposed to share with us tonight, but she had an emergency, but she is also a graduate of my coaching program, and she's saying y'all should go for it. So I'm not just saying it because it's my program. You heard it from Tiffany and you heard it from Kashonda.
Yep.
Join us and become an advocate today, because we need more advocates that are passionate about different causes. Okay, so I am ready. Miss Emerald, are you ready?
I am.
Okay, all right. Tiffany, are you ready? JT, y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Yes. Everybody, are y'all ready? Let's get some emojis out there. Let's get some emojis out there to get ready for Miss Emerald. She's going to be performing this piece for us. So please drop some emojis and some support. And let's encourage Emerald to share more of her story and to give those details and all of that, because it's so important that survivors and advocates are transparent about their stories, because like JT said, you share your story, you never know who's going to be listening. You never know who's going to be listening, and you never know who is going to feel your story, who needs to hear it, who needs to see that you're resilient, to know that you survived and that you can get through it. And you can one day share your story if that's what you choose to do. So please, I see some emojis. I see it. I see yes, please, with some prayer hands. I see Tawana, who is another model for November 2nd. She done dropped an emoji for you. Miss Emerald, Miss Dinella dropped some hearts for you. So we are ready. Let's do this. Everybody, please pay attention to Miss Emerald as she shares this piece with us.
And it never fails. It's gotta be the saddest love song. And what you do. Like and it never fails. It's gotta be the saddest love song. And get some more. Screaming next to it out. In a block of force. Stop it from it. And this is the best feeling in the best. I really wanna finish because I know, even though the kids and doctors knew what was happening, putting hands on me like I was chicken for a punch. Graduation was going things until I started like the dead. Can't cipher what was said. This is so I verbal abuse because you didn't know. Feel my face, past the life. Since this day I can't be up with who I was a kid. Begging for God forgiveness for a past like this. Steady, picking up the time broken off. Things wrong, blame and malicious and it never fails. It's gotta be the saddest love song like I feel. I ain't broken wrong. When things wrong, blame and malicious and it never fails. It's gotta be the saddest love story like I feel. It's broken in. You got it opening. Told me to close it door. You know your own door. You had to win for it. I'm putting it with no hinder. My best friend picked up the baby and then we would buy me flowers and we would ride for hours. Get mad at something like the
I was you were my only friend starting from the end, cause I really love how it all begins. It wasn't me, so it's the myth. You calling like a fool, not knowing nothing. Your love is running. You taking me to school. You don't remember me now. I don't remember. Picking up the pieces, I ain't broken long. When things going plain in the fake and it never fails. You gotta be the saddest man song nobody should have to tell. I ain't broken long. When things going plain in the fake and it never fails. It's gotta be the saddest man story nobody should have to tell. This song was, I had a lot of music I wanted to get out at one time about a real love, and I felt like something was holding me back. And again, although I'm not quite there to be transparent with my story, I feel like this was something that I had to get out to get to the point of me, get back to the person I was before I started going through a relationship. I kind of took a little bit from Tupac, you know, he said, you know, everybody blame her. That's the way I got it from.
Right.
Blame Emma, she a scapegoat, because at the end of the day, mama, it's your fault. Why did you accept this? Why did you let this happen? The man gonna blame you. It's your fault. You shouldn't have made me do that. Like, at the end of the day, it's gonna be my fault. So I might as well own it, take my accountability, love myself through it, do the best I can to get to the next step of my personal growth, and just pray and hope for the best for my loved ones.
Yes. Well, I love that. I love that. I know that you said that you were working on a couple of pieces, and I'm so like overwhelmed with just the creativity of just, you know, artists in general. There's so much talent out here, but when you put your talent and attach your heart to it and your experiences, you get this. An amazing piece.
Thank you.
And I'm
and thank you everybody in the comments, friends, family.
Yes.
You guys, thank y'all.
That was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. I'm looking so forward to you. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm getting emotional right now. I'm sorry.
And the music itself just helps me to be a better actress, because being able to get out those emotions, acting is something I like to do. So although it's kind of a sad song, just being able to be expressive and emotional, it helps in that avenue of my own personal career growth.
Yeah. Well, I loved it, and sorry.
Sending you hugs.
Thank you. I'm trying to keep my lashes on, Tiffany.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just hearing your story, and as a survivor myself of dealing with abuse as a child, I think that's why it's touching me so much. Because people just don't realize that children are affected by everything that happens in the house. And when the abuse is not necessarily targeted towards them, it's mom, it's dad, it's your sister, it's your brother. That doesn't mean that it doesn't affect you. And then when that abuse is on the child, the effects from witnessing it versus experiencing it one-on-one, they're saying that the effects are the same. So even if a child is not being hit, or even if a child is not being abused mentally, emotionally, and so forth, directly towards them as the person, they still have the same effects as if they were the victim. So
I had a couple of good friends of mine that told me this experience was actually like COVID. I'll never forget, it was Martin Luther King Day, 2021 maybe. I think 2020 is when everything shut down. And I had to go back and forth to a plastic surgeon to get the titanium plate put on. And I mean, a few months after it healed, I had my best friend tell me, she was like, that's when it dawned on me. I had just started therapy. She said, that was very traumatic for me seeing you like that. She said, you're my friend. I want to be here for you. But that was very traumatic for me. And that's when I started understanding that, you know, it's affecting more people. And I felt like I was being selfish to my children, allowing them, even the children that I didn't biologically have, because I just love people in general. So for me as a person, to allow those little people that are supposed to be my responsibility to continue seeing something so toxic, looking back on, again, I'm laughing, but I'm not, because those little people didn't deserve to grow up in that environment. And that's what I'm learning through right now.
Yeah, I understand that. As a single mom, I've felt the effects of being in an abusive relationships, and I've seen the effects that it's had on my kids, my older kids. So I totally understand that, and you do feel guilty as a parent when you realize that you stayed in an abusive relationship and it affected your children, and that you're still seeing the effects of it even after the relationship has ended. And so that's why it's just so important for us to really pay attention to our children and know that whatever we're going through, our children are going through too. So thank you for sharing that. Please excuse me for getting emotional. That just kind of hit home for me. But that's what this is supposed to do. We want people to hear the stories, and we want people to be able to not necessarily relate, because we don't want people to be a victim of any kind of trauma, but we want to be able to for people to understand that it's everyday people like myself, like Emerald, like JT, like Tiffany, Akia, that are going through this. Someone next door was going through it, and I didn't even know until my daughter told me. And when I went to go look at her, she literally had a black eye, and I could see like the scars on her face. So, and she's a neighbor, so you never know who's going through what. And so, you know, just being there for people. And I'm going to be honest, for those that know someone that's in a domestic violence relationship, stop asking them when they're going to leave. Stop telling them that they're dumb because they're still there. Stop, you know, removing yourself from their life because they haven't left when you're ready for them to leave. Those are some of the worst things that you can do. The best thing to do if you know someone that is a victim is to let them know that you're there, to let them know that they can make a phone call in the case of emergency, to let them know that when they are ready, that you will support them and help them safely get out of that relationship. If it becomes too much for you, because it can be too much when you have a friend, a family member, or something that is telling you over and over again that they're going through abuse and they're not leaving, it does weigh you down, and it does upset you, and you want to just say, you know what, you want to stay in there, you do you, but I'm out. That's very easy to do. But if you're a true friend and you really love someone, you will not completely remove yourself, but you will let them know that this is something that I can no longer support you in this relationship. But when you are ready to leave, I will be here for you. So I suggest that to all family and friends. And if you know someone in a domestic violence relationship and you've had enough, because it happens. It's happened to me. I'm sure it's happened to you, Tiffany. I'm sure it's happened to you, JT. I'm sure it has happened to you, Emerald.
I threw a party for my ex when she left.
Yeah, like
I helped her pack her bags and everything.
Yeah.
Look, before the airline ticket was even bought, she had all her stuff in the box by the door. Oh, you leaving?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. As a survivor, the worst thing I could have heard is, you ain't left yet, and no, it's not. Things don't happen on your timeline. It happens on the people in the relationships timeline, and we have to be more supportive, and we can't remove ourselves from a person's life because we are tired of them going through it. You can share that and say, hey, Emerald, you know, you've been dealing with this for a while, and I love you, but I can't support you in this relationship anymore. However, when you are ready to get out of this relationship, When you realize that it's an unhealthy relationship, when you realize it's an abusive relationship, I will be there. That's what a true friend does.
And if I may, Tiffany, I do want to say something else that I meant to say earlier was, there's no book to survive on how to be a mom, definitely on how to survive domestic violence, trafficking, or anything of the such. I mean, everybody can tell you their stories and you can maybe relate to some of those feelings, but no, it's not a one fix all or one size fits all to this problem. It's different layers. And I thank God for not taking his hands off of me, because again, my friends in the comment who are supporting me now, Winnie, Vicky, Natalie, we were in a trip in New Orleans, and Winnie gave me one of my first hugs when I realized it was just like, it's okay. They really didn't give me, not that I can remember any negative talk, like, this ain't good for you. It's not good for the kids. I'm here for you. But I can be very thankful that I had that support, because both of my parents have passed. So again, when we go back to those abusers preying on vulnerability, the person I was a few years ago, I could say I'm big, I'm tough, I'm this, I'm that, but I'm still a little girl who misses her parents. And 10 years ago, I didn't know that that's what some of my own issues were. So allowing these toxic people to help run or ruin, or not ruin, but delay some of my life goals.
There you go.
It was a hard pill to swallow. I think I about went crazy about 2-3 years ago. And again, therapy helped. But my friends, they weren't the one size fit all. So when I hear people say that, I'm very thankful that I did have that support. Although, you're frustrated because, God, I don't have my parents. And I see some people out here upset and they have both of their parents doing shit for them.
Right.
And I have to remember, he took them to a better place, but he left me with good people.
Yeah. Yes. I love that.
So
yes.
Appreciative
Love it.
Of the community that I have. And it gets a little overwhelming without them. But at the same time, you have to be thankful for what you have and where you're at, and meet yourself where you're at. You've been meeting this abuser where they're at for so long. Why you can't do it for yourself? Get yourself up and do better.
Right.
Y'all too, guys.
I love that. You're getting a lot of love on the post right now. Thank you, Natalie. Winnie, say Victoria. Let me see if I miss anybody. Thank you so much for coming on and supporting Emerald. We appreciate you and hope to see you on November 2nd. So thank you so much. We're going to close out. Tiffany is going to share a poem, and then I'm going to let JT take us out for the night.
All right. So I don't have a title. So if you guys want to make one up, drop it in the comments. I'm all open. The little girl inside of her cried for her mama, but her eyes couldn't shed the tears. She didn't know what to do to try to get away because her body was frozen in constant fear. She remembered those birthdays with her family and all of her friends, but can't even tell what day it is or where the day starts and ends. Her arms and legs are bruised and her body hurts as she moves. If she attempts to call out for help, it's her life she'll ultimately lose. Rape after rape, beating after beating, she barely gets sleep and she's hardly even eating. The only freedom she has is a glimpse of the sky while taking a deep breath and whispering to herself why. In the moment of her circumstances, others would understand her ordeal, but what they don't get is the hard, long journey it's going to take to heal. The mental struggle to process was fake or real, the trust in anyone who tries to make a deal. The PTSD when someone reaches out to feel, the uncertainty of her future if she makes it out of her ordeal. Don't look at a prostitute with an ignorant opinion, because at least 6 out of 10 of those women didn't ask to be in it.
I like it. I don't know. You said ordeal, I think, twice and at the right time. So I'm thinking their ordeal, her ordeal.
Her ordeal. Yeah.
Her ordeal.
That sounds
Yeah, her ordeal. What y'all think? Drop it in the comments. What should she name that? What should she name that? That's a new piece and she needs a title. So if you have a title you'd like to suggest, please drop it in the comments because I love it. That was right on point. Right on point. Thank you so much, Tiffany, for sharing. Thank you.
No problem. I
Thank
have
you
more
to
in the
everybody.
archives if you need me.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Thank you to everybody for watching. We've had a lot of people watching tonight. And I want to thank you, Emerald, for sharing your story with us. And I'm so looking forward to you performing and sharing your story with us on November 2nd at the VVP inaugural Purple Cabaret. I'm very excited about that. And I will bring some tissues because I have a feeling that I'm going to be crying throughout the night on November 2nd, even though I just said it's a party. So we're going to have the stories. We're going to have a hug it out and then we're going to party. Okay. So thank you so much, Emerald, for sharing. Akia, I'm sorry you weren't able to get back on, but thank you so much for sharing. You are getting some comments, Tiffany. Two snaps to you. Love that poem. You touched my heart. All of those great comments are coming in for your poem, Tiffany. So thank you so much.
you,
if you have a title for that poem, please drop it in the comments and she will check it. And the next time we are on the private room when she joins us, I'm going to ask her what she named it. Let's see if it's one of our ideas. JT, would you like to close us out for the night?
Yes. Wow, amazing, Emerald. You brought out to the audience that I can only halfway snap because your poem was so powerful, but I still was snapping halfway, doing my thing. Tiffany, the same thing. Big snaps, big ups to y'all, powerful pieces. Emerald, I look forward to November the 2nd and meeting you in person and being able to look you eye to eye and tell you the strength of a woman is resonated within you. Thank God for you.
Can't wait,
Tiffany, to you, some of the best poems that, hold on. To both of y'all, let me come from the poetry side of things to say, them ladies good. Both of y'all good. I appreciate y'all because y'all brought it. I'm going to bring it on November the 2nd because we are going to have a great time. We are going to celebrate and we are going to shed tears. But I'm telling you, them tears going to be tears of joy, tears of salvation, and tears of strength and understanding that we have. It ain't got nothing to do with celebrity. It's got everything to do with what God gifted y'all, the power to overcome. Nobody said it. It's not it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. It's a process. In any pain and trauma that anything that we go through in this life, it is a process getting through. But you are discovering strengths about yourselves that you didn't know, but God had already put within you. Let's continue that journey. Let's continue to take those steps. No fear. Y'all did major things tonight by just speaking from your spirit and your soul. You still have the pen of your testimony. Continue to write it. Tiffany, let me tell you this. Some of the greatest pieces that I've ever wrote don't have titles, but they're penned by the author. There's a reason why you wrote that. And it may not necessarily be meant to be titled as long as you continue to be the signature of that piece and understand where they came from.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting you on November the 2nd. And anybody that's watched this podcast, this live stream tonight, you got a special code. Dial in, tap somebody, tell somebody, come out November the 2nd. I guarantee you, you will not leave the same way that you came.
You will not.
You will leave different. Trust and believe. Inspiration, impact, inspiring, the whole 9 y'all. You'll feel like you've been to the private room, the upper room, and the celebratory room. We're going to have a good time that night.
Yes,
come out November 2nd. Get your tickets. Get the code. And let somebody know, hey, you need to tap in too, because you need to be in there with us on that night. I'm coming to the Queen City that night to have a great time. Appreciate everybody that's tapped in, tuned in tonight. Everybody, this right here is how we change the world. This right here is how we continue to have an impact. It don't take but a few, and we walking and we interlocking hand in hand. God bless each and every one of you.
Yes. We're gonna rock out to the what is it? I guess the audio to your piece, My Heart God. So yes, so we're gonna rock out to that.
For you, because for you, I would have done anything. That was the name I gave it at the time.
Okay. Because I was like, that's not the same name you did.
This track's name, so I had I made it my own.
Okay, great. Well, I love it. Thank you for making it your own. Everyone, we're going to rock out to the instrumental to that. If you have any comments, if you want to share your story on the private room, if you are a business owner and you want to just join us for some conversation, please hit us up. You can email us at the private room with Tiffany, the private room WTB@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Also follow our speakers tonight. Tiffany, please share your social media, please.
My Facebook is Tiffany Knowlton with KNOW. Instagram that's where I'm at. So.
All right, thank you so much. JT, share your social media.
Yeah, the government name, James Sherman Thompson on Facebook, JT@BigWooRadio.com on the email, Big Woo Radio on everything and social media. Thank God for everybody that was on tonight. Follow each and every one of these people that you've seen tonight. I promise you will not regret it.
Thank you. Emerald, share your social media.
On Facebook, Instagram, the other side, my alternate. Check the link on my page.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for following. Please share this on your social media so that everybody can listen to the stories that came on tonight as well as the creativity. Have a great night, and it's Domestic Violence Awareness Month. Follow BBP Project Safe Haven for more raising of awareness of domestic violence, and also join us on November 2nd. The link is in the comments. Good night, everyone.